From newstalkzb.co.nz.
It's Mike Hosking.
The Auckland Council is going to head to court today over the Occupy protesters at Aotea Square to ask for an order prohibiting further breaches of council bylaws. A trespass notice was issued yesterday, and if granted, the court order will allow the police, of course, to enforce it. Now, Otago University law professor Andrew Geddes is with us on this. Good morning to you.
Yeah, hi Mike, how are you?
Good. Is this the same as Dunedin or different?
Well, it's the same initial step. The trespass order has been given out, but as in the case of Dunedin, the police aren't going to actually enforce that until they get a court order saying that the trespass orders have been properly given.
And will the council get a court order?
Well, that's a $64,000 question, and probably will cost just about that much to actually go into court. The balancing thing here. There are clear bylaws saying you're not allowed to camp in public places like Aotea Square, but those bylaws then have to get balanced or viewed through the lens of the Bill of Rights Act, which gives people the right to protest. And in order to overcome those rights, it has to be shown that the protesters are doing something more than simply just annoying or irritating people. They actually have to be having a negative impact on the use of the public space and so on. So that's really what the court's going to look at. It's going to look at the council's reasons for wanting to move the protesters out.
If you have to go to court to enforce a bylaw, what's the point of the bylaw?
Well, you don't have to go to court to enforce a bylaw in every case. If this was a couple of French tourists who just stuck up their tent, to save having to pay backpackers' fees, you can enforce the bylaw no problem. It's just the issue here is that the bylaw impacts in a way that infringes on rights, and those rights are in legislation. These aren't airy-fairy things. They're just floating around in the sky. They're in an Act of Parliament. So you've got two bits of law which are butting up against each other, and in order to work out kind of which one is superior in this case, well, that's what you've got courts for.
Well, the Bill of Rights would have to win every time, otherwise what's the point of having a Bill of Rights if to put it bluntly, pissant council rule can usurp a Bill of Rights, then the Bill of Rights is weak, isn't it?
Well, I mean, the Bill of Rights, all rights have limits. I mean, you have a right to free speech, but that doesn't mean you can go out and hire a hitman to kill someone you don't like. So rights stop somewhere. And within the Bill of Rights, it says that you can limit rights where it's, quote, demonstrably justified to do so. And so that then gets you into the question of the reasons. Why is it that you're wanting to stop the protest? What are the reasons for seeking to move them out of the space? And, look, the court will look at this. They'll look at why the council is so upset about it. They'll look at the reasons, and then they'll come down with a judgment as to whether they're sufficient in this case.
Anything in there that says I can't go to Aotea Square at the moment, I don't feel safe as a punter who also pays for the open space, and I don't want to be... Is any of that part of the argument or not really?
Oh, it absolutely is. So what the council have done is they'll have kept a careful record of all the complaints they've got. They'll have got affidavits from people who say, look, I wanted to use Aotea Square for this purpose, but I was unable to because of the protesters. So they will they'll be trying to show the court that these protesters are having a demonstrable negative impact on other people. And, that's where you get down to the balancing. The protesters have a right to have their say, but, this is a public space where other people want to use it for their reasons. Yeah. And, that's got to be taken into account.
Follow it with interest. Appreciate your expertise. Andrew Geddes, who's a law professor at Otago University.
Find out what's happening on air, discuss the big issues, and get breaking news first on our Facebook page, newstalkzb.co.nz/Facebook.